grab your smokes. News and weather, music and jokes. See on the porch in my favorite house coat, it's the Sarah Beth Terry Show. She's a feral Christian out in the wild. The cigarette mom with a queen bee style. Talking or singing about somebody you know. It's the Sarah Beth Terry. The Sarah Beth Terry.
I threw my vape somewhere.
Terry Show. I'm Sarah Beth Terry, and you're not.
I have already lost my vape. It fell down behind the thing.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'll find it. It just, that's my typical day today. So, welcome to the porch, friends. It is Monday, August the 3rd, which means you have 10 shopping days left to my birthday. And if you need the P.O. box, it's on the website. And if you need the website, it's myname.com. Not myname.com. No, actually it is, isn't it? Myname.com. You could start to type that in and it'll take you to sarahbethterry.com. So welcome to the porch. Tonight we have a special guest, a new friend of mine, Michael Mosteller, who is running for House of Delegates
District
21. And he doesn't know me from Adam. But we both have realized we live in a similar situation in this little town. And we both had some concerns about it, so I called him up, and I said, what are you doing on Monday the 3rd? And he said, well, I haven't nothing yet. And I said, well, come to the porch. Let's talk about what's going on in Taze Valley. So, welcome, Michael. How in the world are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And thank you so much for coming to the porch. I know that this was kind of like a blind date.
I appreciate you having me.
He's like, I'm a Democrat, right? I said, well, it don't matter, right? Like, we're sitting on the porch. Like, just... party lines go away. This is where people work stuff out, is on the porch.
That's right.
My papa would sit and argue politics all damn day, and he'd help you unload hay.
Oh, yeah.
I would never miss a beat. And he'd be like, all right, we got to get after this before it gets dark. And I'm like, just bury the hatchet right there. So, but I want everybody to get to know Michael, not the candidate, but actual Michael. So before we get into all the politics of it. So tell me about you, tell me about your family and where you're from and where you grew up. And...
All right. Well, I grew up in Lincoln County, which is about 20 minutes that way.
That's tornado, ain't it? Ain't tornado in Lincoln County?
You get a tornado and go a little bit further.
Okay. We stayed down in West Hamlin for a long time, so I think we drove into Lincoln County for a yard sale one night. That's pretty country down there.
It is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But I grew up a holler on a farm, literally. We lived in a single wide trailer. Growing up, I had 5 siblings.
And a single wide.
Yeah.
Lord, and that's one bathroom. No one realizes that's one bathroom.
Yep. But my dad, he worked really, really hard. And so he worked 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. And my mother, if there was something she wanted to know how to do, she would get the book and she would figure it out.
I love that.
So Dad brought home the money and Mom built the house.
She was a homemaker.
Yeah, literally. So that turned into a 2-story, a 6-bedroom house, 3 bathrooms.
Wow.
And she built it. I mean, if she needed help, she would hire somebody to do something she didn't know how to do or didn't have the tools. But she for the most part, and we helped build that house by hand.
I mean, that's what they mean when they say West Virginia mountain mama. Like, that is, she built that house. She is a homemaker. What is that?
Yes.
Oh, God love you. Thank you.
And one thing she instilled in me was the ability to see someone else's perspective, especially if it's opposite of mine, almost to a fault.
That's kind of my thing. I'm almost too trusting. And I believe in the good in everybody, usually 2 or 3 times until finally I'm like, well, here, don't even use lube this time. Here's the brand. But I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but I'm also like my daddy. I'm like, I'm real easy to get along with till I ain't.
Yeah.
And then there's that line in the sand. But at this point in my life, and I know you're probably like me, I try to be the bigger person. I try to be I take my grocery cart back. Like I'm trying to do that shit. But also, I'm real quick to, like the other day at the Dollar Tree, some girl knocked me down.
Oh, goodness.
And she said, move, old bitch. And I was like,
Oh, hell no.
And I had that whole Tawanda moment where I, flipped around and I said, what did you just say?
Yeah.
And she goes, I said, no, say it to my face.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, girl, I'm fixing to knock the taste out of your mouth. Like, I was just in no mood that day, But I was like, Jesus, like, I don't have bail money. Like, we got to, give me the peace, But, so, why Putnam County if you're from Lincoln County?
So, all right. so I grew up out there, and I ended up dating a girl who lived out here in the
always a
valley.
girl.
It was over a girl.
That's how I ended up here. It's because of a dude. It's always because of love you end up in the valley.
It is.
It's the valley of love.
It is. Now, in the beginning, I moved her out there. We lived probably 5-10 minutes from my parents, and we started a family, had a couple kids, and we really didn't want our kids to go through the Lincoln County school system because at the time, you know, I experienced it.
I get it.
And so, you know, Putnam County's got some great schools.
They have great schools.
Yeah. So we wanted to move out here, you know, to give our children a better opportunity, and so we could be closer to her parents.
And you're closer to Kroger.
Yes.
So that says a lot, you know.
Oh, it doesn't take a half hour to get, you know, Taco Bell or
Lord, I'm from Urban, Kentucky. You had to go to the Walmart. Not a Walmart. The Walmart. It was the only Walmart within a 30-mile radius. And on Saturday night, that was the place to be.
Yep.
If you wanted to be seen, you went to Walmart. And now I'm like, I hate going to Walmart. Like, I'd rather go to the Dollar General. I'll even go to the one in Milton, just like, I'm just like, slip in, slip out. Like,
Yep.
But them blue carters, have you noticed that? Them big blue buggy people that are knocking people down. I'm like, you don't even have turn signals. Like, you just have to dodge out of the way like it's a snow truck.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too much for me. I'm like, I'm not high enough for this. I'm just gonna gonna DoorDash some Dollar General real quick and just stay here in my happy place. So you ended up in Putnam County because of a girl, and then you liked the schools.
Yep.
And then that just jumped you right into, what do you do for your day job?
So my day job, I used to work, well, I've always worked in the medical field. I used to be an EMT. I used to work for the hospital. And then working with patients, it tests your patients.
That's why they're called patients.
Yeah, I think that's why. But no, I kind of got out of that field and tried a couple other things, but I always got drawn back into the medical field. So instead of dealing directly with patients, I work on like the hospital equipment. You know.
Oh, that's cool.
So I manage that side of it.
So you would be what we would call backline in my business. Like, you'd be a roadie.
That's right.
I love that. See, technical. Sean's left brain like that. Like, I'll go and I'm like, this doesn't work. He's like, did you turn it on? I'm like, no. But like, I'm right brain. Like, you can tell by looking around. Everybody always asks me if I'm smoking on the porch at Cracker Barrel. I'm like, no, this is my porch. This is just
beautiful.
what my porch looks like. And it's just, I think this is kind of the inside of my brain. But I have such a fascination for people that know how to fix things and tinker with things. Like, my dad's like that, my brother's like that. And I'm like, now I'm real good at like redneck engineering stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like that stuff, like me and Sean built that entire backyard out of pallets. And when he woke up one morning and I was like, I'm building a coop. He's like, so you are. And I'm out there I did a basket arch one day and he's like, why? I'm like, cuz. And he's like, that has no purpose. I'm like, it's aesthetically pleasing.
It is.
He's like, it serves no purpose. He's all about, does it serve a purpose? And I'm like, isn't it cute? And he's like, but for why? He's like, I don't understand. Like, when we go to bed at night, like, how many pillows does your wife put on the bed? Is it an obscene amount of pillows?
Yes. Yeah, it has, like, she has OCD.
Does she sneak another throw pillow in there every now and again?
Here's a funny story when we were dating. So, we were sitting up in her room, she was doing homework, and her bed was so neatly made, and she was so obsessed about it. So I peeled back the corner just a few inches, and her eye twitched, and she just had to put it back. So that's the level of OCD.
So is your house like spick and span all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, see, I don't know what that's like. Now, see, that's where we differ. Like, I'll notice, like, tomorrow I'll be like, where's my purple Post-it notes? But also, the house could be on fire.
Yes.
And I'd be like, it's fine. Like, that's where my brain goes. And Sean will come through the house. He's like, there's mountains of clothes. I'm like, oh, I haven't done laundry. I'll get into like a songwriting binge or like get in a garden binge and I'll just, that's it. I'm like a mule with blinders on. And then he'll be like, can you wash my underwear? Because I am wearing swimming trunks to work. And I'm like, oh, my bad. I forgot that that's my job. So, like, I have those moments of, like, I'm not very domesticated. I'm very feral. Like, I'm one of those wild mountain feral women that you hear so much about. So, okay, since you're in Putnam County, how long have you been here now, year-wise, in Putnam County?
We've been here about 8 years.
Okay, great. So, long enough to almost be a local. Like, they give you a 10-year card after some of you. That's what we like make fun of in Nashville. Like, after 10 years, you get the local card. You know, like, we're like, I'm local. Don't hassle me.
Yeah.
But, so, what's your favorite restaurant here in town?
Oh, my favorite one here in town. I like Mi Pueblitos. Like, that is wonderful.
You know, I've not been there yet.
Really? Oh, it's right by the exit.
See, I'm still learning my lay of the land. Like, so far, I'm loving the Illinois barbecue.
Yes.
Holy crap, those ribs. And the brownies. I had to go down and just buy 10 brownies to take on the tour bus last time. I was like, I'm taking all these. They're $1. I'm taking all of them. And I'm like, that's why I'm wearing stretchy pants this week. I'm like, I ate all of them. I don't care. I was like, I'm not even ashamed of it. Go get some. Illinois barbecue. They're only open like randomly on Tuesday through Saturday from like 11 to 3 or 4. Like right now, they're like weird hours. But worth it. Go get some food. Taste of Asia, I'm digging. I love the Taste Valley roll. That's my guilty pleasure. Mm-hmm. Let's see what else. King's Kitchen.
Yes.
That is a hidden gem.
Yes, and the Bridge. I think it's Bridge Bistro.
I've not been to that yet. That's over there in that corner by the bakery, ain't it?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I need to check it out. And of course, we like Whiskey Taco. Sergio lives down the road here, so we always try to visit with the neighbors.
Yep.
But I'm all for local business. I mean, we walk to Farley's about 3 times a week when we're home in the summertime. I'm like, let's go get a hot dog.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to have to try that, though. I'm going to have to go down to the Mexican restaurant because, oh, man, now my mouth's just watering. If I wouldn't fill up on chips, I could try more stuff. But I'm always like, literally, there's been a bag of Tostitos in this house since January. Never been open. Never been open. I go to the Mexican restaurant, I will eat 9 freaking baskets just like as hard as I can. I'm like, I've never had chips before. Like, what is it? And then like, oh my God, and the salsa, like if it's the right salsa. So and I always add, like Sean always wants to just gom it up just with every little bit of heat that he can put in it.
Yes.
And I'm like, bland foods and men that make more money than me. Like I can't do that much spice. Like it's, can't do that. Like it just eats my mouth out. So, but anyway, continuing on. Do you hunt or fish?
I grew up hunting and fishing. I really don't have a lot of property to do that on now. So
I mean, who does? I mean, everything's got a townhome on it. So, not to name it, but I will say Mixed Mountain Trails has preserved a wonderful preserve here in the Taste Valley region, and it's what, like 900 acres or something like that?
I don't know the acres,
like
but it's massive.
Huge. It's like Central Park of Taste Valley. Like
it is.
You can just go and you said you do like mountain biking and stuff there?
Yeah, I'm a mountain bike coach. So there's
That's awesome.
There's a whole national level league, and it's called NICA, National Interscholastic Cycling Association. And then West Virginia has WVDOH, which is West Virginia Interscholastic. Anyway.
WVDOH?
Yeah.
That's a fun acronym. I'm sorry.
It is. But so the team that I'm a coach for were the Putnam County Peddlers.
That's cute.
So the league started, the West Virginia League started, I want to say 2017 or 2018. I joined, I think, 2020, 2021-ish. And in order to be a coach, you have to ride. So that was kind of a shock to me. But those trails have been our home, and the league.
What's the age group that's in your?
It's 6th grade through senior.
Wow.
Yep. And the league has pretty much doubled in size almost every year. And there's just as many coaches as there are kids
I love
riding.
that.
Yes.
Well, have you seen that thing on TikTok where they do the back to school program? And it's their little thing, but they will start. They have like 10 parents, 10 coaches, and whoever wants to ride their bike to school, they just fall in this like little caravan
the bike
with them,
bus.
and they go, they go all through town. I'm like, that is the cutest thing, and I love how we're like. I was like, I wonder if we could do that here. We have a bike bus here.
Yes.
So we've got to do that live. We've got to go and like track them down one day and be like, watch the bike bus. I think I wish that had been an opportunity when we were younger.
Yes, there's a bike shop down by the reservoir.
Yes.
It's called Wheelbilly Bikes.
Wheelbilly Bikes.
Yep.
They're so stinking cute too.
Yeah, they are. But she's the one that organizes the bike bus and gets them there. She's also got Little Bellas, which is getting little girls on bikes.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, it's wonderful.
See, there's so much here that you don't even realize because a lot of people are stuck right here or stuck right here. So get out and explore your neighborhood. I've been here for 18 months and I'm learning all about this place. And I thought that I knew some stuff. I know where the good Goodwill is. I know where the good drugstores are. I know where the Milton Flea Market is. Like, I've been out to Kim's greenhouse and put her children through college. I was like, LaDonna, give me another rose bush. She's like, this is like 15. I'm like, shut up, LaDonna. Like, I love her so much. And Kim's like, now what are you doing with all them rose bushes? I said, I'm putting them over my dead husband's. He just laughed. Yeah, I just love Kim. He has that hat. He'll take that hat and just slap his leg. I love him. Like, I love going out to Kim's. That's like my guilty pleasure all spring. I'm like, I'm going to Kim's.
Yeah.
And I'm just throwing shit in the cart. I'll come home with like, you see it. I mean, he's like, why is there so many tomatoes? I'm like, I might have gotten carried away.
Yeah, a little bit.
But just a hair. Do you see that there's a papasan chair that is now a planter in my backyard because I wouldn't let my neighbor throw it away? This big circle
love a
thing.
papasan.
It was broken, and he was like, "I'm gonna burn it." I was like,
No.
"I want to turn it into a planter." So
Yeah.
now it's a planter.
That's awesome.
Because we're junk over here. You know, we like with a Q. You know, like
Right.
junk. You know, not junk.
Junk.
Junk. See, you got to put the little French
Yes.
in there. I love that. So, what is like? Do you all go to church here, or do you all? Is there like a music scene that y'all check out here, or places that you like to go do? Like, what does y'all do in your free time when you're not on a mountain bike or not fixing stuff at the hospital?
So, have you heard of the Hatfield McCoy Trail System?
Of course, I'm from Kentucky.
So,
I'm probably one of them McCoys.
yeah. Well, my son and I, we ride that almost every weekend.
Wow, that's
And,
fun.
yeah, I have these events called Ride with the Candidate. Anything with two wheels, mountain bikes, dirt bikes, street bikes. I'll organize something and we'll go ride.
That's cool.
I got my ass kicked last weekend riding at the single tracks in Tornado. That was brutal because if it rains any at all.
Oh no, you're in it.
Yeah.
Like you're just baptized in it.
Yep. And so I even posted a video on my socials. It's just like one of those days when you just give up on life. I had stood my bike up, had to walk it up over this rock while clutching it, and I threw my leg over and I'm like, I got this, and like my right foot slid out and
It's
bam.
like, no, you don't got this.
And down I went, and I just stayed for a minute.
I do that.
I just said, fuck it.
Dude, I slipped on a new rug the other day because the dog just lays on the floor, and he's black.
Yeah.
He's completely black. He's 150 pounds, and I'm like, I can't tell where he is. So I just tripped over him, slid on the rug, and tried to catch myself and knocked myself into the door frame.
Oh.
And I had this big shiner, and I'm like, I'm 42 years old. Like, I had to, think, I threw my neck out, blow drying my hair. Like, shit's getting bad. Like my warranty's probably expired by now.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried that I'm going to call and be like, listen, this ain't about your car. I'm going to be like, oh, God. So, let's see. Oh, what's the biggest misconception about you?
Biggest misconception. I guess a lot of people, and this is not just
That you're a
me.
Democrat.
Right. It's really not just me. It's pretty much all of the West Virginia Democrats on the ballot. Is that we're these blue-haired,
Pierced and whatnot.
yeah, and we identify as this, and really even across the nation, like that's what we're portrayed as. But I mean, for the most part, we're just regular everyday people.
Well, it's a lot like the climate that I grew up in Eastern Kentucky. Democrats was the rural bunch. It was the farmers. It was the railroaders. It was the mechanics. We were on Jackson County RECC and not KU. That was the dividing line. But it was also dyed-in-the-wool Southern Democrat. And it was, take care of your family, take care of your own, go to church, believe in the values, and help your neighbor. And somewhere, I've always said this, and I said this when I was about 25 years old. I said, I didn't leave the Democratic Party. They left me.
I can tell you exactly when.
And I was in Nashville. And I was like, this is not, I don't know what this is. So, at that point, everything just, and you know exactly when it was.
Yep, because our party burned itself to the ground, especially in this state. And so I decided, you know what? I mean, because between 2016 and now, you didn't see Democratic opposition at the state level.
You didn't.
So I went around the state, and with the help of the party leadership, and I recruited a specific type of candidate, because the people who set our party on fire from within, I call them the corporate Democrats. They're the ones that go in and they buy these stocks based on knowledge. They enrich themselves.
Didn't Martha Stewart go to prison for that?
Right. That's what I'll never
I'm
understand. Like, how could she do time in jail yet it's common practice
But
for
it
our
was a good
politicians?
thing. She got that TV show with Snape. And I think that's funny because her
That's
and Snape,
true.
out of the two of them,
They have so
she's
much-
the one with the prison record.
Yes, and they have so much chemistry. Have you
They're
noticed
so
that?
great together. I'm like, this is like Kenny and Dolly. Like, I am
Yes.
loving this. But you're like me. I was like, there's still a band of dyed-in-the-wool Southern Democrats, and that's what I call them.
Right.
Because that's the way Papa voted. We were tobacco farmers. We worked. He was in the army, and we worked at Sylvania, and they made light bulbs. Like, it wasn't.
Right.
The Republicans were the city folk. They were the bankers and the lawyers, and we were the rural people. And
Yeah.
that was literally the dividing line. And now it's like you said, it's starting to, I feel like that Americana pushback is coming.
It is. And one thing that the Republican Party did, because back in the 90s, well, actually all the way up through the 90s and 2000s, it was the country club Republicans.
Thank
Remember
you.
that?
Oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one. Okay, so that was
Okay.
across the state line.
And basically it was just rebranding. they branded themselves as good old country folk, but they never
But
changed.
it was this yuppie, weird, it was a weird hybrid.
Yeah, so they never changed. And so they...
Very Dallas and Knots Landing. Like, all of a sudden, you're like, don't you work in the field? Like, it's like...
and what our party allowed them to do was to define us. And they defined us as, everything bad, everything evil. And then they say, well, we're pushing some trans agenda. The only thing we're asking is just don't hate on people, no matter who they are.
That's the golden rule. And that's what I think is if we would focus on what we have in common instead of what we have, not in common. And like, everybody's just focused on difference. And I love that even on our side, they're like, don't label us, but then there's this box and this box and this box and the LGBTQ bunch. And I love that now. My friend Hunter said that. He said, are you part of the LGBTQ? I was like, what? He's like, the LGBTQ. I was like, LGBTQ. I was like, that is my new favorite acronym. I was like, I did not know that you could just put it as a word.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't fit neatly into any box,
I've never been a box
to stand in one. So
I couldn't even do it during COVID, which turns out was bullshit. That 6-foot rule was just for the birds. I'm loving how, like, Fauci was, like, lying about everything. And then did you know that he was the same MFer in the 80s who said you can get AIDS by touching people? He was the one that caused the panic in the 80s, and everybody was like, he's probably right. What the? We didn't take any we didn't just go back and check YouTube, like, for 5 or 10 minutes before we hired him. Like, we were like, wait a second. But I also want to see if Mitch McConnell's still alive. I don't think that he is.
I don't believe he is
I
either.
think he's been dead as long as Biden has.
I think he has.
Biden's a body double, right? Like, he's been dead since, like, 2019. Just so you know. Okay.
I'm not sure. But.
No, I know. I'm a conspiracy actualist. I'm like, we've already said I told you so, like, 16 times this year. Like, just wait for it.
Yeah.
Wait till you see what's coming.
Yeah.
But I was like, I couldn't get jabbed. One, because I was way down on the list as a self-employed musician. They were like,
that's true, yeah.
And I was like, that's when they gave you the list of what you do, and are you a first responder, and are you essential personnel? And I was like, I tell jokes at bars.
Right.
And I write country songs. So, like, yeah, you're number 27,515 to get. I was like, I'm not going to get a damn shot. So our joke was, I was like, every bar we went to, I'm like, give me 2 shots. I'm going to get white girl vaccinated tonight. And they were like, what? And I would literally watch people with a jar of moonshine stand with their masks on, take the mask down, try the moonshine, put the mask back up, and hand it over. And I'm like,
I mean, it was mainly to protect. Like, I think the best photo that I saw with that, like, if you're not around people,
take it off.
Yeah, take it off.
Don't wear it in your car. Why? It is 7 years later, and I'm like, why are people still wearing their masks in their car?
I saw that. Well, probably due to the flock cameras now. Because I actually threw one on the other day, so I could flip the bird to one of the flock cameras.
And we have come into the fun topic.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, before we get into the really, really nit grit, why did you decide to run for office?
All right. So, one of my earliest memories, my dad ran for the House of Delegates, and he ran as a Democrat. Now, I think he lost in the primary, and this was the same election when Arch Moore was arrested for being corrupt. And so, yeah, I mean, this is when the Democratic Party was the party, and you had to get in the right way. And I always wanted to follow in his footsteps, but I really didn't know why. But over the last 4 to 6 years, I've seen the way things have been running, and now I've got a reason, I've got a purpose that I want to run now.
So what was that moment that you were like, somebody's got to do something? Like, what was that one moment you're like, okay, this is it. Like, I've got to throw my hat in the ring right now.
Right. It was when, let's see. Trying to think of that moment, really. It was when I would go to the ballot box, and there were no Democrats anywhere on the state level at all.
So you were like, I got to do something.
Right. Yeah, I've got
to. It's like the Kentucky lottery. Somebody's going to win. Might as well be you.
Yes. So I thought about running too late in 2022, and that's when the district was a certain way. Mm-hmm. And so I threw it out there, and political world found out. And so the very next election cycle, the lines were redrawn. And what's interesting is,
that redistrict stuff they like to do.
They do. And like all my in-laws live just north of the tracks. I could literally throw a rock and hit their house.
But they can't vote for you anymore, can they?
They can't, because they put that line right on the railroad tracks.
Ain't that a damn thing?
Yep. I thought,
Wonder about that.
Yeah.
That seems weird.
It does.
That math don't math, Michael.
No.
That just seems very weird to me. Seems like that math don't math.
No.
My goodness. So, why this particular? Just because it was a state level, or because this House of Delegates was like, that's what I want to do, and in particular, like, you didn't say I want to go governor, or
Right. Well, I mean, I've got it on my mom's side. Junior, my great uncle Junior, he ran for governor back in like the 1950s
That's
or something.
cool.
Now he lost too, but
it's still cool though.
it is, yeah. But it was more of like wanting to follow in my dad's footsteps. And when he was in his like even up to his last days, I would always say, "Hey, Dad, I want to run for House of Delegates," and he would always say, no, you're not ready. You're not ready. But he would never explain it. And
well, he knew what kind of shitstorm you was fixing to walk into.
I
it's
guess
a lion's den.
But you know what? I'm not afraid of any of them, and I'll give you a quick story. You know, they've got this Valley Link transmission line that they're wanting to do, AEP. Yeah. And I kind of shared this story on my socials, but so they have to go through every area, put up their PR, and show what they're going to do and all that. So when they came to POCA, I'd announced, myself, Vince George, Kim Hundley, she's running for state senate, Nolan Rose, a bunch of us. We were going to go because the only thing that line's going to do is just siphon the electricity out of West Virginia. It's going over to Data Center Alley over in Virginia, and AEP even admitted it's going to drive our rates up. So I'm inside walking around talking to people, and I'm looking around. I was like, where'd the other candidates go? So I went back outside, and I'm like, Vince, how come you're not going inside? He said, they won't let me pass my cards out, and told me to leave. I said, oh, watch me. So I went to my car and got some cards. Yeah. And on my way back in, one of the ladies that was there, she leaned in and she said, by the way, when they were at Roane County last night, and this is the same group of people, there was a gentleman, because everybody was wearing, Valley Link shirts, right. All the branding, the branding was everywhere.
Oh, there's all swag.
Yeah.
They spend a shit ton on swag.
But she said there was a guy in just a plain black T-shirt, and she gave me a description. He was balding, middle-aged, about 50-ish, something like that, and said he was following a lady around who had been whipping up opposition to the Valley Link. And not only that, he told her he'd put her on some list. I saw red. So I walked in those doors, and I look around, and there sits a man wearing a black shirt fitting that description. No logos, nothing. So I made a beeline for that man. I said, hey, man, my name's Mike Mosteller. How you doing? What's your name? He said, Chuck. What's your last name, Chuck? And he said, oh, it's just Chuck. I said, oh, Chuck,
okay.
Chuck.
Chuck.
So I decided, you know what? I'm going to fuck with you. So I said, here's my card. He said, you need to go outside. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I said, I don't give a fuck what you think. I said, I got some questions for you.
I need to ask you some stuff real quick.
I said, who do you work for? He said, AEP. I said, why no branding? You trying to...
You an undercover call?
Right. That's kind of what they look like. So I was pissed off. I said, why did y'all follow the lady around last night, and what list is she on? And he looks at me, and he's hemming and hawing. He didn't know. And so I struck up conversations like, well, where are you from? And, he kind of gave some details, but not too many details.
Right, just enough.
Yeah. And so I went back outside, and apparently he went and rounded up the whole crew. I guess there was more of them. And
he got his posse together.
Yeah, he did. And so the lady leans in. She goes, there he is. And so I leaned over, and she's pointing at a different guy, but Chuck's in that circle.
Uh-oh.
So I'm like, so you're sure it's that guy? Okay, so I walk back in, and I go around the circle. First guy. I said, what's your name? And he told me. I shook his hand.
Chuck.
What's your last name? I'm not at liberty to discuss that. Every one of them. I got around to Chuck, and he goes, he said, I'm still Chuck. I said, that's right, Chuck. And then got to the last guy, and he goes, well, why do you want to know our last names? I said, you work for a public utility company. You're out here putting on the PR event, and you're wanting to put these huge transmission lines that don't service West Virginia, that are taking our electricity out of state, and you admitted it's going to drive our bills up. So I should at least know who we're dealing with. Never got a last name, but then I whipped my head back around to the guy who that lady positively identified. And I said, you. And he had a look of terror. Up until that point, they were trying to intimidate me. And I said, you. Why were you following that woman around last night who's been whipping up opposition to this line? And what list is she on? And he just humming. And yeah. So I looked at every single one of them square in the eye. I said, listen, I'm not going to put up with any of this bullshit. If I find out there is a list, there's going to be hell to pay. And I'll tell y'all now to your faces, I ain't afraid of y'all. So, and then
They can't eat you.
Nope. And I gave every one of them my card. And I walked
And
out.
I'd appreciate your vote come November. But, and I approve this message. But you have to sometimes, like, there's no heroes anymore.
Right.
And somebody's got to have to stand up and be like, hey, that ain't right. Like, we're going to have to stop doing that, and it's like Andy Bashir, his catchphrase during COVID was, we can't be doing that. Mm-hmm. We can't be doing that. That was his whole thing. Or he'd do his thumb like Obama. We can't be doing that. And I'm like, you're a little Bill Clinton, a little bit Obama. Like, you remember the Bill Clinton? I did not have sex with that woman. Oh, my God. Did we just become best friends?
I think we did.
Freaking great dude. That is the greatest.
Depends on what the definition of is.
It's fantastic. Oh, my God. You know that Monica Lewinsky's birthday was the other day. She's like 57 or 58 now. Mm-hmm. And I said, they grow up so fast. Seems like just the other day she was just crawling around the White House putting everything in her mouth,
Oh.
So, why you got your mouth full? What do you think the biggest challenge facing Putnam County, other than we're getting a Texas Roadhouse? And there's no parking for that. Y'all can't figure out Panera. Texas Roadhouse is going to be a damn nightmare.
I think the biggest challenges that we have, and I'll list them in order.
There's a list.
Yes.
Take notes.
So
there's a quiz later.
Like number 3 is the roads, and they're in terrible shape.
That's West Virginia. I mean, that's like a sport, is the dodge of the potholes. And you don't even fix them. It just has a sign that says, rough road.
Yeah. Or on Route 35, instead of fixing the dips, they just put a sign that says dip.
Dip. Yep. I want to say shit right after it, like 400 yards away.
Oh, give me a spray can.
Would that not be great? Dip.
That would be
or
awesome.
Chips, like question mark? What?
Yeah, chips. But like the roads are like, they're very important, but there's several things on top of them. And speaking of the roads, like the DOH is doing what they can.
I mean, all they can for what they have available to them. That's the problem, is they're doing what they can for what's available to them.
Yes, and not to make this a partisan thing, but like out of our whole legislature, which is like 136 members, there's only like 2 Democrats in our state Senate and maybe 8 or 9 in the House of Delegates. So we have no power there. We haven't for over 10 years. And
I don't think anybody had any power as long as Justice was funding Greenbrier, but he was like, everybody vote for this. We need a new golf course.
Yes. But,
we need to fix the fountains.
Yeah, and I was at a Meet the Candidate event, and there's a state senator, Eric Tarr. And, everybody's afraid of him because he's got all this money and he owns all these companies around here. And he got up to speak before I did, and he said, West Virginia's our population's increasing, and we gave $750 million to the DOH to fix the roads. And I'm just sitting there thinking, those 2 things are a lie. And before I could even pin him down, well, I got up to speak, and it was at an event where you couldn't really attack a specific candidate.
Right.
But I said, I've talked to the DOH, the money's not there, and I would love to know where somebody's getting their numbers that our population's increasing, but you are being lied to. I couldn't just look at him and say, hey, you're lying.
Your pants are on fire.
Yeah.
No más pantalones.
And before I finished speaking, he was gone. I could not get a hold of him. He won't return.
Like a fart in the wind.
Yes, like a fart in the wind, just up and gone. And
are you in NOFT?
So, but I sent him an email. I reached out on every way that I can. Hey, where'd you get the source for the numbers on?
Did you also get a copy of the hurricane budget?
Yeah, but I did find out where he came up with the number $750 million. They didn't allocate $750 million to fund the roads. That's just the DOH's annual operating budget. So he's full of shit. And then he presented that as if
It was just for us.
Yeah.
For this road.
And he specifically
Paved
said,
in gold bricks.
right.
No, that's for the entire state.
Yes.
And we still have a toll. So,
Yes.
you know, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, we're still paying $6 to go to Tamarack. So, you know, like, you're still working on the roads, and I get that the Band-Aids ain't big enough there by Huntington, but
Right.
so that's number 3. Okay, so roads. Okay,
Yep,
number 2 would be
number 2, and it's close now, but number 2 is going to be the data centers.
Yes.
Because I did a deep dive. Ben Jordan did an excellent video. He goes out with
that one.
3D microphone, and one thing that's not getting talked about enough is the fact that the infrasound from these things, we can't hear it.
Oh, but it's going to mess with you.
Right. So he did a study, and it was double blind. You know, he tested infrasound on individuals. He went out and took 3D microphone readings, which is something that no one I know can afford a 3D microphone.
I mean, good Lord, I've looked at them and you're like, nah, I don't need that just yet.
Right. And they're very expensive. But yeah, he actually amplified. And so when he laid it out, and you all work with audio.
Oh, yeah.
So when he laid it out, it looks like this map of like just red static.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell when somebody's talking because you see it go up and down lines. But then right at the bottom, out of the range of our hearing, it's almost like a solid red line. And I thought, well, maybe that's just how the track goes. And he said, no, that's the infrasound. And that's the part you can't even hear. And the thing is, that causes, per the CDC, that causes anxiety, stress, it causes heart disease, and they're even studying the effects on the brain because it could possibly lead to stroke. We've got a lady around, I think around here, she's doing a study on the effects on unborn fetuses. And there's places where calves are dying before, as they're born, when they're close to the data centers. So, and it's like where it's below our level of hearing, sound waves, it's more like a vibration.
Oh, yeah, and then what's it going to do to the plates that are already shifting, the water levels that's already rising, the fracking that's going on with the coal mines, the infrastructure of building the roads all the time,
Right.
the dredging of the Sandy and the canal. You have all of that already disturbing the earth, and then you're just going to add a vibration plate under it.
Yes.
And go, well, good luck.
Yes. And
A whole lot of shaking going on.
And the way our state did it was they wrote House Bill 2014, and they said, oh, by the way, county or local areas cannot enforce any of their laws against the data centers. No noise ordinances, nothing. And then they took the taxes and said, yeah, we're going to take those at the state level, not the county. So that's 2 things that are unconstitutional per the West Virginia Constitution. So all it's going to take, and I've begged the Putnam County Commission, hey, you guys, you had your rights taken away. You can sue and get those back and win.
This is why we have a Second Amendment.
Right. And they will not. They will not. They will not pursue legal action. And all it's going to take, any town council, city council, or county commission in the state could sue over the constitutionality of that, and they would win. We're just waiting for the first one to go, and the rest will go like dominoes.
Did you hear that?
Yep.
West Virginia, are you listening?
And if you want to be pissed off even more,
Well, of course.
I predicted that our legislature wasn't smart enough to write that bill. I was right, because that video came out. One of the developers for the Tucker County site, who lives in North Carolina, he didn't know he was on video. So he was bragging that we wrote House Bill 2014 and got it pushed through the legislature, and now we can do whatever the hell we want up there. As he was asking his town council to enact noise ordinances for the data centers down there, something they took our right away to do.
Ooh.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was pissed.
I mean, we could fight fire with fire and just set up like a wall of PVs and just play just
wouldn't that be
AC/DC
awesome?
just 24 hours a day. Would that not be great? We're going to be like, you're listening to Mike and Sarah Best Radio Station, and just play whatever. I mean, there'd be something like, we'll turn it off. We're just going to play Weird Al 24 hours a day.
That would be awesome.
Just the back catalog, none of the hits,
Right.
But I feel like you're going to have to fight fire with fire on some of this shit. But
Yes.
also, how do we pull the plug?
So,
That's the big. Okay, that's 2, right? So then number 1, what's your biggest, I gotta smack this thing down the moment I get sworn in?
So the biggest thing used to be the data centers, but now you see all these flock cameras that are just popping
and
up
we're on it.
everywhere. And the thing is, they're using opioid settlement money. We lost more people than the entire country did in the Vietnam War, and we lost them to the opioid epidemic. And those families haven't seen a penny. And I posted a link to the reports from 2025 and 2026, the spending on those, because they have to give the place where they spent it, how much they spent, and then the justification.
And why they spent it.
Right. $30 at Speedway? Really? Money at Sheetz? $300 and some at Jersey Mike's? And this is just in Putnam County. Bunch of Chick-fil-A? Several $100s at Chick-fil-A? What's that got to do with fighting opioids? You look at Kanawha County, and I'll give you, I got a personal story here. My cousin, I grew up with her, we grew up together, and actually before she became an adult, she got addicted to opiates. And for 25 years, she was addicted, and she was dependent upon the system. And so she ended up getting caught, went to drug court, and one of the places that the Kanawha County Commission had donated money to as a halfway house and opioid recovery, they did it right. But she'd been in and out of jail a lot, but she was given the option. You can either do jail or you can go through rehab. She went through inpatient rehab. They alleviated the withdrawal symptoms, and then they got her in the halfway house. Both of these things are prohibitively expensive to you and I.
To the layman.
You're right. And so she was taken care of through and then monitored through the halfway house. She was able to get a job, got a promotion, and is a productive member of society.
And is a 1 in a million success story with what it should be in this state.
Right. And if we
that should be the norm, not the exception.
Right. Instead of criminalize it and just locking these people away, because it costs you. Another thing opioid settlement money is being spent on is the jails. You'll see every county, they'll cut money to the jail system. And, sure, that's one way to do it if someone doesn't want to go through rehab.
But give them an option, not an ultimatum.
Right. And I know so many people who have said, if there was just this magic bullet, this magic pill, where I didn't have withdrawal symptoms, I would take it in a heartbeat. And it's so sad. But if we just gave them, it's not just prohibitively expensive, there just aren't that many facilities, or there's a waiting list, or there's something.
What's sad is that there's such a stigma attached to it.
Yes.
That they're not seen as human anymore. They're seen as a statistic. They're seen as a problem, a liability,
yes.
a lost cause. I've been a lost cause.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here today because of the grace of God and being able to get past the stuff that I have been down.
Same here.
But who's to say that the next Einstein, the next Tesla, the next Beethoven is not going, I did not want to get addicted to pain pills, but I threw up my knee in high school and they put me on damn hydrocodones, and now I'm stuck.
Yes.
And nobody realizes that addiction is a disease. It is not. It's not a choice. It is a disease. So, looking at the recovery houses that we've worked with Nashville and just in Kentucky's trying to do better, but again, money's missing, and now because that money's missing, but it's starting to show up in other ventures. So, you said flock cameras. What exactly are they?
Okay, so Ben Jordan, again, did a deep dive on flock cameras. And so what they are is there's a few components to them. They are automatic license plate readers that feeds into an AI database, and then it'll give a hit on what it thinks it read. And I say thinks, it doesn't think, but it doesn't give a solid return. Right. It was also used, because you saw our buffoon of a police
sheriff.
Yes, sheriff. Go on TV. Period.
The Duke.
Yes. Broke back, whatever. And,
we know his name. We're just not saying it.
Yeah.
Lest he show up like Voldemort.
Once.
Period.
Once he come under scrutiny. Period.
Period.
He denied that they were even turned on, and I'm like, dude, they're up on poles. So people went out, and you could actually see the infrared flashes.
Yes, because if you use your camera, and we saw the one there in front of the Speedway on 60.
That's where I went.
I was like, and there's another one right there across from Liberty Plaza as you turn
Yes.
out that way. There's like, do you see this slot camera here? And I'm like, and then Huntington is just eat up with them.
Yes.
But I'm going, but they're not turned on?
Right. You know,
Okay.
they are. They are.
So
And
who paid for them?
the opioid settlement money.
So that's where all of that's we designated it to the flock cameras.
Right. As if, how's that going to fix the opioid problem? I don't know. But what a lot of people aren't aware of is that, you know, flock is nothing new. I mean, there's over, I can't remember if it's 80 or 800 towns have already decided they don't want flock anymore.
Anymore, being the
Because
keyword.
what's happened is, like I said, it goes through an AI system. Also, the feds can access it with they don't need a warrant.
Isn't that a violation of the Fourth Amendment?
It should be. It should be. And, you know, I think, don't get me started on that. But
Lord, give us
at
strength.
the very least, and not only is it flock, it ties in with some of the like, I don't want to say Ring, but I know Wise cameras. So certain
Did you see
cameras,
that Super Bowl commercial where that they were looking for a lost dog and they could link all of your Ring doorbell cameras or whatever it was to
And it
find this
lost.
dog? And I'm like,
it lost them more customers than it
I was
gained.
like, so that's to find a dog though, right? A dog? You're looking for a dog.
Yeah.
Okay. So who voted on these? Shouldn't this have been like went before a vote?
It should have came up as a like the levies do, a ballot measure.
I mean, shouldn't it though? I mean, that's like a
Right.
community edition. Shouldn't we all be like, no, we don't want the naked statue at Devon Brent? Like,
Right.
like what?
The county commissioners are the ones who voted for it.
Behind closed doors, I'm sure.
Yes, and yes, it was like it was done. I started going to county commission meetings religiously once they dropped the data center info on us, and then the flock camera. I haven't been back since the flock cameras have been revealed, so they're going to hear that from me because I've gone to every county commission meeting since then, and these guys. Because the data centers, the information from the flock cameras, they go into AI data centers, and
that's license plate and
facial
where you've
recognition.
been, and
Yes.
so like they can run a trail. On,
They can
on
follow you and keep it for 30 days. Well, that's what's publicly known is that they keep it for 30 days. But during these,
Is that like 30 days and then it's still in my deleted file on my iPhone and I have to go in and actually delete the deleted file? You see what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I'm like, but is it actually deleted though? Ever?
don't know.
I mean, like they always told us once it's on the internet, it's forever.
Right.
So I'm looking at it going, but where did it go? Like China's already bought out Amazon's like client list 3 or 4 times now. And we've had a breach of our change your password.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going to stop them from being like, okay, Mike is going to be at Speedway. He usually stops for coffee every morning about 8 o'clock. We're going to go rob his house.
They do build profiles, and they're easily hacked.
See, that's what scares the shit out of me. I mean, and that's what concerns me the most is that it's not just the people that say they're watching us, the people who we don't know are watching us.
Right.
That's terrifying to me.
Yep.
I mean, as somebody who's on camera all the time, I'm fine with it as long as I know where it's at and where to smile. But if I don't, I'm like, I don't like this.
No, it's Big Brother on steroids.
It's 1984.
Yeah.
It is. And I'm like, it just, 40 years later.
John Oliver just did an expose on it this past Sunday, and they're on camera. There was a cop somewhere. He said he was telling a suspect. He goes, "We've got cameras all over the place. You can't get
breathe in or out without us knowing about it." I saw that video, and I was like, and accused that woman who was like, "I've never been here before. I literally just drove through town on my way home." Like, and they're like, "No, we have 100%. You could either lie to me or get arrested." And I'm like,
"Yep."
And they didn't even apologize. They didn't even apologize. They were like, "Our bad."
Yep.
Like,
that's
were just
why
like,
towns are getting rid of it, because it misidentifies people. It misreads plates. And then, like, families, little children have been held at gunpoint. And there was one instance where a woman's license plate, it came back stolen. If the cops would have looked any further, they would have saw that it was a stolen motorcycle plate. They're in a minivan, and they pull them out and hold them at gunpoint. So these cities and towns, they got sick of paying all these huge settlements. So they told Flock, well, at first they just took the cameras down. Flock sued them and put them back up. Because once you sign that contract, which I'm willing to bet that our county commission in its infinite wisdom probably didn't even read, but and just like our legislators didn't even read House Bill 2014, you can't get out of it. You have to wait for it to expire and just not renew. So they're Dayton, Ohio, and Evanston, Illinois. They have had to start covering the cameras with bags to protect their citizens from the cameras and the system.
This feels just like very Twilight Zone, War of the Worlds kind of stuff. And I'm like, we know for certain where most of them are at this point, right? There's 24 of them that we know of, correct?
Yes.
24 cameras that we know of, and people are starting to put poster boards under them and be
love it.
You're under a flock camera.
Did you see that one guy who's sitting there and he's just got this folding chair and he's got a big long pole and just a big thing that blocks the camera? He just sits there all day. I love this man.
I saw a guy, and I don't know where it was, but they were talking about the flock cameras, and he had a folding card table. He's sitting out there in swimming trunks and a wife beater, with just a PlayStation and a soundboard. I mean, like every piece of ET phone home equipment that you could rig together. And the cops said, "What are we doing?" He said, "I'm just updating the malware on here." And they went, "Okay." And 5 different cops asked him, and he was like, "Dude, I'm just messing with these guys right now." And they're like, "Okay." He said, "That terrifies me." He said, "What's to stop somebody else from actually doing that?" Like, they didn't even ask questions like credentials or refresh. No, just, okay. And just went on about their business. He's like, "I'm just waiting for this malware to update." And I was
and what's scary is most police departments, they really don't know how to use the technology. They barely know how to use the interface that they have. Mm-hmm. But in most instances, they don't even change the default password on them. You can access it with your phone, or there's a button on the side, and you can press it a certain number of times that I can't say, and it gives you root access to the device. And what that means is, here, I can sit here, root access, here, take my car. And that's what that is. So you can, and not only that, but there's been instances, and there's been a lot of them, where police have used them to stalk their ex-girlfriends or girls they think are pretty, and then follow them and pull them over.
That's a whole different can of worms that you didn't even think about.
Yeah.
And I mean, under what circumstances legitimately could they use the data that has been stored? Like, I'm looking at it going, if they have probable cause, Amber Alert, drug runners, whatever you think is going on, but what's to stop you, again, like the minivan with the wrong plate, and that's happened to us. We went through Montana, got a bill for a semi that had the same numbers on their truck as we did, one little difference, and it was Sean's military sticker on it. Yeah. The only different states, but they were the white license plates, and on that camera, a flock camera at the toll.
Yep.
And we had like a $275 toll, and I was like, this is for a semi. We were driving a truck.
Yeah.
And we had to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I'm like, and this was 3 years ago. I'm like, why don't they put these up at convenience stores? Because they sure as hell can't figure those people out. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I would understand surveillance in places that are high-risk places like liquor stores, convenience stores, banks, things like that. I understand that. I expect that level of surveillance in a place with that kind of traffic. However, I don't expect to see it when I'm going to Sheetz at 3 p.m. to get a pack of cigarettes and then come, I think, well, I'm out. Oh, I better stop at the Dollar Tree. I'm out of, Lysol or whatever. And then get questioned on my way home and go, well, why did you go to the Dollar Tree? You never go to the Dollar Tree after you go to Sheetz.
Right.
Well, why do you know that?
Right.
Why are you questioning me about where I'm going? I mean, am I not a free citizen? This feels like a lot like digital martial law.
Well, what they've done is, like, the police in a lot of instances, they will take this data and what they'll take what they get from Flock as if it's gospel, and they've now, like, you have you are innocent until proven guilty.
Not anymore.
Now they reversed it. So if Flock says you did something, you have to prove your innocence.
You have to have your alibi and your, chain of events and your paper trail. That's what worries me the most.
Right. It's the erosion of our rights. And it's been both parties that have done it.
Oh, it's not about party lines at this point. It's about AI versus human. It's actually iRobot at this point of just like, we're still dependent on it. You check your phone how many times a day?
Right.
How many times a day do we have? I mean, there's 4 phones just sitting within hand's reach of us right now. How many times do we check the weather? How many times do you check your email? How many times do you text your kids, your wife, your mom? And I'm like, and people are going, I don't want the data center. I'm like, then put that down.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing. That's the only thing that's going to stop it right this second.
Right.
We're having to go back to landlines and
Well, there's two different types of data centers.
But at the same time, what's to stop a conversion like Warner Broadcasting and TBS? What's to stop a conglomeration like ABC and Hulu? I see that this isn't going to just be what they say it's for. I feel like geofencing is going to be the main.
It is.
Does that make sense? Like, I don't feel like it's going to be satellite locations. Like, it's going to be like, well, this one's just for this. But I could put this thumb drive in, and I could access everything that's in that one.
Yep.
So that's what I'm looking at going, we've all seen Minority Report, right? Like, we've all watched Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson. Like, we were all like, this is a fun movie, and I'm going, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Half the stuff he says in that movie in the 90s is now factual. And I'm going, wait. Like, I think Will Smith warned us about this in one of his movies. So that's what I'm looking at, is that, just like my ex-husband was in military intelligence, and he was like, this looks like an Xbox. To you, to me, to a 12-year-old kid in Iran right now, he could blow up a house with this.
Yes.
Same friggin' thing. So I'm looking at it going, if that's easily manipulated technology, what's to stop AI from creating an image? We've all seen it do it with profile pictures.
Yep.
From creating a video, from creating a license plate, from misreading something. How many times have you done one of them stupid Chat GPT cartoons and it says like, welcome, WECLOMME. And I'm like, no one's proofreading this.
Right.
So I'm looking at it going, is everybody going to, where's going to be factual? Where's the line?
Well, that brings me to the other thing on AI, which it's been overhyped and oversold. The only things that it can effectively do without human interaction is predictive text, which, I mean, we all have predictive text on our phones, but basically the chat bots are the only real effective thing that they've made, and even then, if you've Googled something and you've seen that AI overview, you're like, wait a minute, that's wrong. Like my boss, we went to a baseball game, and he just casually asked Google, he's like, so what was this pitcher's stats on this date? And it said, oh, he didn't pitch that day. It's like, wait a minute, I was there. I know he pitched.
But he did.
And then the AI goes, oh, you're right, I apologize. And then it just throws out some other garbage. And what it does is, it takes every article ever written by a journalist, every book ever written by an author, every song ever written.
Every comment ever put on a Facebook post.
Yep, and it gives equal weight with an expert in their field as it does with old Joe Blow down the road posting on Reddit when it comes to medical facts.
It's basically the sum of information.
Right, and it can't discern what's factual or not. It just predicts what word most likely comes next. And with pictures, it predicts what pixel comes next, and with videos, it predicts what it's broken up into those little. I have a brain fart.
I have a goose. I have a for a moment.
Yeah, what frame comes next, and that's what it does.
Right.
But it gets a lot of things wrong, and people treat it as if it's gospel, and it's dumbing us down. And another thing is, so here's what led to all of a sudden every town getting an AI data center. So in the early 2000s, when Facebook was new, when Google was new, all these things were new, the investors were like, here, take my money. And so the money was free coming into these companies. And then in the 2010s, it kind of got stale for them. So the investors were like, well, hey, give us something new, give us something better. And kind of like with Tesla, you know how Elon Musk has said that, oh, my cars will be full self-driving within the next 12 to 15 months. He's been saying that every year for 15 years. And they're still not.
They're still coming into traffic jams and cul-de-sacs.
Yes, and crashing into kids. And like Adam Conover does a great expose on AI, and the biggest problem that it presents is that it plagiarizes. You write songs. You can ask AI to write a song with your style.
Oh, I know. It's terrifying.
Yes, but that's theft from you.
Exactly. It's the same thing as plagiarism in college. If you got caught doing something, you had
Yes.
to check the internet. And I was like, now they can check and see, you know, if the AI is squashed or whatever. And I'm like, how lazy are you? And I've been saying this on my podcast forever, is this is the moment for you to become intrinsically more human. Start gardening, start
Yes.
writing things down, start learning cursive, start doing long division again. Get a phone,
Yes.
with a curly cord and
Yes.
stretch it across the house, make your kids have to ask to speak to somebody.
Get a phone that when you slam it,
They
it
know
gives
you mean it.
satisfaction.
They know you mean it. So I'm looking at it and I said, you know, everybody's using it. I don't know how many times my dad said, I feel like a damn robot. I'm working on a factory line.
Yep.
Well, yay, now there's a robot to do that, so you can play catch with your kids.
Yes.
But you're not playing with catch with your kids. You're on your phone.
Right.
So you see what I'm saying? There's a disconnect there too. This is an opportunity for you to become more human, to do more
Yes.
human things. And at any moment, you remember what they say. If it's not working, unplug it for a minute or two.
Yes.
What's to stop us from just unplugging it?
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Like, if it gets too big, or will we be able to pull the plug? Is that going to be an option?
It is, and you know, you've heard these stories that where, do you remember the story where they said, oh, we tried, I think it was Anthropic, they said, we tried to shut down this AI model, but it tried to blackmail the developers and all this.
What power does it have?
That was a fake story. But the reason, they've used carnival barker techniques.
Oh, yeah, it's snake oil salesman.
Anthropic, they didn't just do it once. They said, oh, this is too dangerous to release to the public. And then they released it anyway. They did it 4 times in a row. One was that they planted a fake story. So there's there's a database where...
We call that cattle herding.
Yeah.
You start one rumor, and before the time that and by the time that whatever comes to fruition, they're like, okay, I'll show you a perfect example. My
Yes.
brother was 17 years old, and I was trying to sneak him into a bar in Nashville. Very hard to do. At that time, you could still know somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
So he didn't have an ID that said 21, obviously. So I walked in, and I said, y'all hear Dylan Terry's in town tonight? And they were like, who? I was like, that drummer from Vegas, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I just bullshit. And they're like, no. I was like, he's supposed to be here tonight, man. They had said that he always wears sunglasses. You seen a big tall dude with sunglasses? No. Well, then everybody starts buzzing. Did you see Dylan Terry? He's supposed to be here. Nobody knows who the hell Dylan Terry is.
Right.
So by the time that my brother comes in 10 minutes later, they're like, there's Dylan Terry. They didn't even check his ID. They bought him a beer. So we call it cattle herding. So I'm looking at it going, if you can get 15%, this is psychological fact. You can look
Yes.
this up. This is science. If you can get 15% of the population to follow something, the rest will follow suit.
Yes. Yes. And it's just
that easy.
Yep.
And it's terrifying to think that that's so easily manipulated. But look at us. We take advice from one influencer that we saw a video on.
Yes.
We look up one Wikipedia article and we're like, that must be true. I'm going, like, we had to have at least 5 sources when we wrote papers in high school. Is no
Yes.
one doing MLA format anymore? Like, I'm looking at going,
Bring that back.
right? I'm like, cite your sources.
Yes.
There is no journalistic integrity anymore. You just go, Dolly Parton takes daily buttermilk baths. Post.
Yep.
And then tomorrow, Borden Milk will be like, guess who's our new endorser? And she's going to be like, I don't know what the hell y'all are talking about.
Yep.
I bathe in skim milk. Like you see what I'm saying? Like, it's that easy to, and I'm so terrified of it. That's why I push it so hard. I'm like,
Yeah.
come to a show. Like, this is
Yes.
as real as it gets. The smile is
Yes.
fake, but the tits are real. Like, this is as real as it gets, But, so, election's November.
Yes.
We're going to work on the roads. We're going to work on the data center. We're going to work on these damn flock cameras that ain't on, period. Oh, listen, I thought he was straight off of Mayberry. I was like, what are you doing? Like,
Right.
this is when the Darlings came to town. Like, stop doing this. Like,
Yeah.
And I just thought, this was on the news. And then it was
Yes.
on the big news. And then it was on the national news. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
God.
that's
Of all the
our
things we
guy.
could be known for in this little tiny town.
Oh, and something
So-
happened. They tried to sweep under the rug. So after that all happened, somebody gets a hold of me and they show me a video, and I can't share it because I don't have the permission of
Of the video owner just
Right.
yet.
And the reason why is they're terrified of the sheriff. They don't want him to harass them for releasing the footage. But at the courthouse, a girl who was in a orange jumpsuit, shackles, she walked right out of the courthouse, stole the Department of Corrections van, crashed it, and then just goes walking through people's yards. And that's where the camera picks up. And I've got a reporter doing FOIA requests and calling, and of course they're all tight-lipped about it. But I've got the video. I just can't post it because the people are terrified of their own sheriff. That's not right. And so one thing that I did when so the last 2 years, I went around the state and I was recruiting candidates, but I wasn't just taking anyone.
Right.
They had to be, number one, refuse to take corporate money, because corporate money has ruined politics.
Oh, I mean, it's NASCAR at this point.
Yes. Number two was, don't be a corrupt dick, you know? And
Please don't be a dick.
number three, just be progressive and take the party back from those corporate Democrats. And four, don't profit from your office. That's my only requirement.
Do the job because you want to do the job,
Yes.
not because you are looking for the perk package that comes with the job.
Right. We want to offer a new way forward, and we want to restore the power of the legislature to the people. We want to be the people's voice rather than
Tell us what to do.
Yeah, because they just said you're getting data centers and it's a done deal. There's nothing you can do about
I'm
it.
like, it seems like we could do something about that, though.
We are. Oh,
And-
yeah.
and we are.
We're fighting it.
So, I hope that you have learned something. I have learned something. Michael Mosteller, sorry. We're best friends now, so I just
Yeah,
call him
it's
Mike.
all right.
You know, like, it's like me and Mike are like down like two flat tires. Like, you don't even know. So, real quick fire round, answer without thinking. Here's the last lightning round of our questions. Sweet tea or Coke?
Oh, sweet tea.
Okay. Pepperoni roll or hot dog?
Pepperoni roll.
Nice. Okay. Favorite Dolly Parton song?
Ooh, Islands in the Stream.
Nice. It was actually written by the Bee Gees. Did you know that?
Yes.
Fantastic trivia. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs. Okay. Last thing you laughed so hard that you cried at?
Laughed so hard that
You gonna do it right now?
it was at my daughter, and I didn't mean to.
Now you have to tell the story.
I am. She comes in, and she's in college, and she wants to be a teacher. And unfortunately, she can't be a teacher in West Virginia because of all the hostility that the legislature has had towards teachers. But anyway, she's going to college. And
Central Kentucky. We need teachers in Kentucky. It's not far.
Right. And so, but it just kind of tickled me in a way. It pissed her off, but I laughed so hard I couldn't stop laughing. But it was a math class, and she said, now in this college math class, our teacher said we are going to count on our fingers, and she said he put up 5 bananas up on the, and she held up that many fingers, and I just got tickled, and I laughed so hard. And she got so mad at me and stomped off to her room.
Shut up. I know how many fingers I have. I'm not Ann Boleyn with an extra digit.
I didn't mean to, but I just, yeah.
But
and I
those moments are
apologize.
like, I love those moments because those are the ones that will stick with you forever. And you're like, you remember that? Like you had those moments and they never go away.
Yeah.
And they'll be like repeated at Christmas and then Easter and then Thanksgiving forever into infinity.
Yeah.
So, what's your comfort food, speaking of holidays?
Ooh, my comfort food. I love a good caramello bar.
Nice. You're throwing back to our childhood, man.
Yes.
If you had said a 0, I'd been like, what are you doing with your life right now? Like, I would've, but caramel, man, that's like, you can't beat some Cadbury, man. You just got me like really hungry for this. What's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear. Wow, that's a big one. Because I mean, there's not a whole lot I'm afraid of.
I'm scared shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not afraid of these big state networks of big powerful politicians. I mean, I guess my biggest fear would be that I let the people around me down.
Mine's snakes.
That's my other one. That's my other one. Yes.
But his is better. His answer is much better. Mine's like, snake is snake. Like other than that, I'm not really afraid of much. But I'm like, I ain't scared of you. I don't even vote here. No,
I'm
but
also terrified of snakes.
I
Yes.
also don't like snakes. It's the creepy crawly things that don't have legs. I don't like
Yes.
those. What's your favorite place in West Virginia?
Oh, by far, it is Seneca Rocks.
I have not been there yet.
Oh, you need to go.
Can you take me, Sean Darling? Will you take me? Okay.
Oh, it's the most beautiful view you've ever seen.
Well, I will. I'm going to hold you to that because I'm from Kentucky and we got some awful pretty views up there too. So I'm going to hold you to that. If you weren't in politics, what else would you be doing to make the community do what you want it to do?
I would say I'm already doing it, which is coaching for the local mountain bike team. I love it.
And if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
You got that right.
So tell me something nobody knows.
Something nobody knows. That's a tough one. So I also play guitar.
Looky here, little porch picker right here on the porch. I'm going to have to get out of Get Bill and be like, pick around.
Yes.
I am loving this. I am tickled. And what's your wife's name?
Her name's Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. We're going to have to bring Elizabeth by for gumbo one night. We'll have to have supper.
There you go.
So now that we're friends and we've already quoted Bill Clinton twice, like, you know how, like, if we had started singing, like, Islands in the Stream together, like we would have brought the whole internet to its knees just then. Just, you do something. Anyway, so I am so excited to have Michael on there. If you're going to be voting this November in this area in Tates Valley, West Virginia, Democratic ticket, Michael Mosteller running for the House Delegates, District 21. And we're going to take care of the roads. We're going to take care of the data center. We're going to take care of the dead, burned flock cameras. We're going to tell them flock cameras to go flock themselves. We are not going to do this anymore. If I'm going to be on camera, it's under my terms, and there better be good lighting. That's all I'm saying. Like, get my good side. Don't be stupid. Don't be a dick. So I am so excited that you came. I hope that you'll come back again. And friends, always remember, keep your Bibles open, your powder dry, and your head on a swivel because people are acting crazy. Be nice to old people, animals, and children. Give it to God and love your neighbor. And remember, friends, until I see you next time, I'm Sarah Beth Terry, and you're not. Good night.